Hello and welcome back. Earlier this morning, I played a few games and decided to try and have a bit of fun in the Khabarovsk, a ship that I really enjoy playing due to the fact that it's a pure gunboat DD, which is my preferable way of playing a DD. As you can see, the matchmaking is actually quite good. Yes, there are 4 DDs, which, as long as they're spotted, can quite easily be dealt with. Only 2 cruisers and a bunch of battleships. There is also a CV, but it's only at tier 8, so with the AA that the Khabarovsk have, it's not that big of a deal, to be honest. So I'm trying to rush down to A, see if maybe I can get the early cap before any other DDs go in. C unfortunately comes straight for me, or where I was going at least. But even so, we see here just how good the Khabarovsk AA can be. And I shoot down every single one of his planes without taking any damage. So that's a good start. I do lose some time here though, getting into A. And, well, if there is a DD coming in here, there's really nothing I can do, but I still wanted to try and see if maybe I could get the cap. I have 2 battleships behind me, and the CV is also sending his planes here. The rest of the team is going to C, while we also see that the enemy team is capping B, which we have no ships anywhere near. The Lexington comes once again, this time with bombers. And thanks to the CV scout, it looks like there are no DDs or any other small ships here, so I decided to push out in case he tries to strike me, and also provide some AA to the 2 battleships. I am being targeted, but I'm moving away, wiggling a tiny bit just to make it difficult to hit me. All the while shooting down more planes, and we see that in 2 attempts I managed to shoot down 17 planes. So yeah, plane-wise that's a pretty decent start. The enemy team did manage to take control of B, while we are still struggling over at C. Surprisingly, there is a Friedrich also that is pushing into B in this early on, which is quite unusual and a bit strange to see. So, in order to try to deal with BB and also to some extent provide cover for our CV, I decided to abandon A since it looks like there's nothing really else down here. And instead I go and try to face off with the battleship. And this situation here is pretty much the dream of Khabarovsk. Kiting away from a single BB and yeah, you can just do so much damage and annoying the hell out of him. He's not even focused on me apart from his secondaries, and I'm not overly concerned about that because since I am kiting I will be out of range fairly soon. And since he's not shooting me, I can continue to just hammer him and get some fights from time to time. The secondary still managed to set me on fire, but I repaired anyway. And yes, we see again here that I am getting out of his secondary range. So as long as he focuses on other things with his main battery, I'm perfectly safe. And that's exactly what I want. Because I can perfectly safe just melt him down. I have, of course, help from other ships as well, which makes it faster to bring him down. But going down is, I get more fires, and now it's just a matter of who gets the kill. And luckily my fire is the killing blow. Now I get quite out of position here, because I wanted to continue to kite the BB, and it made so that I am all the way back to RCV when there is no enemy ships here. The two battleships I had with me at A are pushing through the cap, and I am heading down in that direction again. See if I can assist them, or maybe even get the B cap on my way there. We did get control of C as well, so we have a slight point advantage right now, which is growing at the moment. We unfortunately see some questionable positioning over at C, all the way in A9, A10 corner. It's not that uncommon to see it, but it's always frustrating, because it rarely leads to anything good and you're just so far out from the game. But as long as we have the cap and they don't die, I suppose it's okay, and I can try to deal with other things here. I am detected, so I know there is a DD here somewhere. I'm gonna assume that he is somewhere in the B cap, and I want to avoid eating a torp, so I abandon the idea of taking it and instead go down to try to help against primarily the John Bart, but then also the Iowa. One of our BBs over there goes down, the John Bart, and the Bismarck is now the only one there. Then my John Bart is very low, though now I am in range, so I can start opening up and try to take him down. Getting another fire, which is always nice. He lost repair, however, but it won't really save him. The Benson in B cap is detected, so my prediction was a bit accurate, and for now I ignore him and continue to try to take down the battleship. I managed to do so, and I also see that our Bismarck is in pretty big problems. Aragumo is spamming HE at him, and Iowa is doing his part. The CV is coming as well. So for now I am abandon that, because there's not too much I can do against that kind of defenses, and I turn back as the Benson is spotted, and I can try to deal with him and get him out of the game. Tries to smoke up, but there are several ships shooting at him, and I get another fire kill. Bismarck eventually goes down over at A, so the enemy team will be able to get the cap. So to keep it at least the same level as before, I go into B to help the Fantastic to cap. It's still equal on ships, and thanks to us more or less maintaining the 2-to-1 caps, we are continuously in the lead, as we are about halfway into the game, and we can see that so far this game has been not particularly good for me. Only 56,000 damage, a cap and a CC cap, and of course 17 plane kills, which is not too bad. At least considering I was only really in range of planes twice. With the cap secured, I head back to try and deal a bit with Iowa. Also moving away because I have a Friese Grosse behind me, also Alaska, which I wasn't sure where he was, but now see behind the island. And unfortunately, the Friedrich and Iowa both hits me really hard, and I get taken down to less than 11k. I think the Iowa even switched to HE, probably assuming that I would be his next target, which is good or well done from him, but definitely not for me, as that definitely hurt. Though to be fair, it was mostly the Friedrich Grosse that got a really good hit, and I wasn't really expecting. Now, on the other hand, I can quite easily kite Iowa and fairly well avoid any incoming shells. Haragumo is spotted as well. I'm trying to set Iowa on fire once more before I even contemplate switching to the Haragumo. And it also goes behind the island, so there's not too much I can do. I get my fire, and he will be burning now for a bit. Shooting more HE, but I managed to avoid most of the damage this time as well. We lose our Sashu, which means that both teams are once again equal on the number of ships. And I decided to take a chance that the Haragumo would continue up the 2 line, but the CV spotted him and is going east of the island instead, so I had to turn back to deal with him, possibly Iowa, and the second Friedrich the Grosse that is pushing into B. Luckily my fires take down the Iowa, and I get the opportunity to shoot once in Haragumo. I get a decent hit, but not too much damage. But here again we are back in a situation where a lone battleship is pushing more or less in my direction, meaning I can kite and just spam HE. And again, this is pretty much the perfect scenario for Khabarovsk. Simply because it's so fast, still fairly nimble, meaning it's quite difficult to hit, and it has a good fire chance and very good, I would say, damage potential. I kite a bit too far away though, so I'm out of range and have to turn back a bit. But I managed to annoy at least the freeze a bit, and I'm also giving us some time to defend B while the rest of my team is making their way down from the north, which they have finally won, and can now focus here instead. As the Haragumo was briefly spotted, I decided to try and reset him, which I managed to do, delaying the cap a bit further. And while I really mess up that dodge, I was way too slow to react, I managed to set some more fires on the Friedrich the Grosse, and he's having a not so fun time. And while my starter game was quite poor, only about 90,000 damage, even though I had 4 kills, thanks to this BB, the damage numbers have started to increase a bit. And as the fires burn, I switch to AP to see if I can get some decent hits with that, which usually you can. Fires run out or he repairs them, but it's still giving me enough broadside that I think it's worth to continue with the AP. And I'm getting some decent hits, but with rate of fire especially, it hurts a lot. Unfortunately, it's the Izumo that gets the kill, and I am denied my Kraken. I did, however, get up to 152,000 damage, which is significantly better. However, we are still equal on ships, and now the enemy team has control of 2 caps and we only 1, so they will start decreasing the gap. And if they also get 1-2 kills, we are all of a sudden in some pretty big traumatic situation. I open up on the Alaska, he does the same. I will admit that I am not focusing as much on dodging as I should. I really want to try and get the kill here to get my Kraken and end the game. So I forget to turn as much as I should from time to time. It is also a bit lucky for me that Alaska isn't particularly good. We will see that later on when we meet him again. Stevie is coming for me once more. I try to boost my A a bit while continuously shoot Alaska a bit. I'm trying to get some hits with AP, but as it turns away I have to switch back. And after I shoot a couple of salvos, my teammates tell me to switch to HE, so a bit late, but of course correct. Get my Wither, and we are still in a fairly good situation points-wise, but we are losing control of C, or at least they are blocking it. And since we already have A and B, then that is definitely real bad for us. I get my high caliber, hoping that I will be able to shoot Alaska a bit more, but he sails out of range and I go in to see if maybe I can cap A. Now, I was briefly detected. I wasn't entirely sure what that was detecting me, but I thought maybe the CV is somewhere around here at A. And as I turn this island here, what do I see? Well, the CV. I really wasn't expecting him to be here. I thought he would be somewhere south. But nevertheless, I have to go for it and try to get him killed. I have the Alaska up north as well. But my immediate threat, as I see it, is the Lexington. And here we see again that Alaska really isn't very good. Get Confederate, and I send out both salvos. Probably should have kept the second one for the Alaska, but I just didn't want to risk messing up. And I figured I could probably deal with Alaska with my guns. Get the torpedoes needed for my Kraken and the kill, and can now focus completely on the Alaska one-on-one. And he is fairly low, but so am I. My rate of fire is, however, significantly better, and considering his aim so far in the game, I'm feeling fairly confident in this situation. He misses, and between his shots I managed to get the final kill. Looking at the result screens, we see that in the end I managed to get 233,000 damage, which is a really good result for me. It is to date my best damage number in Khabarovsk, so it's also nice to break a record. We also see that I get a bunch of achievements: Confederate, Dreadnought, Kraken, Wither and High Caliber. So definitely a very nice collection there. In the end I also managed to get 30 plane kills. Yes, it was just tier 8, but still shows that the Khabarovsk AA is nothing to scoff at. 6 kills, so I managed to kill half the enemy team. And a lot of that was obviously due to the 15 fires I got. Also a cap and assisted cap, and a couple of defended. And, well, to be honest, a really nice game. Now, you would think that these kind of results would easily make me top player of the game. But surprisingly, looking at the team score, I'm only second in the team. In fact, there is a Fantask that managed to beat me with roughly 200 base XP. I did actually ask him about his results, seeing as he beat me, and while they were not bad at all, I mean 3 kills and I think it was about 80,000 damage, it's still not amazing, and most likely it has to do with the fact that he was a tier 8 against tier 10s. But it's still surprising for me that he gets above me with the game I had. Anyway, 2.4 thousand base XP is nothing bad at all. And we see that we had a few ships that had a bad game, and then a bunch that had decent ones, and a few of us that did really well. Enemy team, there were a few that tried. Smolensk and surprisingly Alaska somehow managed to be second best of that team. Not sure how that happened, but never mind. But yeah, looking at the team score, I think this game was way more close than it needed to be. But in the end, we managed to win, so that's nice. D2 report. We see that out of my 233,000 damage, about 150 was from HE, 16 from AP, and almost 72 from fires. Also the 2 torpedoes that brought me up to 11k and my total result. 50,000 air damage and 30 plane kills as we saw before. Only 1.4 million potential damage, which is not that amazing in Khabarovsk. As you saw, I messed up my dodging a bit and focused on other things more than I should have. So I definitely could have had more, or at least received less damage for that amount of potential damage, but it's not awful either. The damage received over almost 32,000 damage, which considering my initial HP is not bad at all, and of course I got the Dreadnought. See that a lot of my damage were on big ships, Alaska, Fidel Grosse, Iowa, Lexington of course, also another Fidel Grosse that I didn't get the kill for, but still did almost 62,000 damage. So as I said a few times in this game, shooting at a lone BB that you can kite and is focused on other things or just you, is really the perfect situation for you in this ship. And I was lucky enough to have that happen to me several times, and I got a really nice game out of it. So that pretty much sums this game up. I can also say that due to the 5 achievements, the 6 skills and the win, I also got 1,000 points for the French Hall of Fame thing that is going on. That is a pretty decent game for that as well. Anyway, I think this game is a really good example of the strength of the Khabarovsk, and I hope you have enjoyed watching it as I really enjoy playing it, and I will see you next time.